and happy Halloween. Today I'm going to be building the 3-in-1 haunted house set. Yeah, let me pull this thing up and get into it. There we go. Okay, first little thing here is the skeleton, and then there's the werewolf, and then it looks like the fence and maybe the little tree that sticks out of it. I'm just going to be doing the haunted mansion for today, but the other builds look pretty nice as well. Oh, this is the one that. Hello. I am very, very nervous about the next 2 days. Ideally, just today would be my hope, but yeah, it's quite something. Didn't think it would be happening, but I guess it is. Alright, first little thing here is this little tree. Yeah, I went to, I got tickets for the Wild Card series, which never ended up happening, but I had a ticket for that. But I went to the first game of the ALDS against the Yankees, and then game 2, I think, of the CS versus Seattle. So wasn't able to get one for this one. I did. They had watch parties for the game at the Rogers Center earlier this week for the road game, so I did go to the game 4 one, which was fun. I'm pleased that that I didn't go for game 3. Because if I had stayed, would have been there until like 3 in the morning. And it would have definitely been difficult to get back, since I'm pretty sure no trains operate at those hours. So getting out of the city would have been fun. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. The Yankees one was really fun. That was probably one of my favorite baseball games I've been to. That was a really fun one. But yeah, I think the wild card or the World Series tickets are. I think the cheapest ones are like a couple thousand or something like that. But I think regularly, I think they were either 400 or 495 or something like that Canadian. I think was just the regular like Ticketmaster price. I think the wild card tickets I think were 90 regularly. And then they sort of just went up from there. I think they went up to like 150 or 160, and then it went up to 200 or 300 for the CS, and now they're up to like 400 regularly for the World Series one. So they're certainly making quite a bit of money off the series. But yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, I think when I got into the ticket line, I think, or into the queue on Ticketmaster for the World Series ones, I think I was like 30,000 or something in the line, so definitely wasn't gonna get anything there for a stadium that holds, I think, 30 or 45 or something like that. So wasn't gonna get anything there. I think for the wild card one, I think when I got in, it was like 500 people in front of me. The DS was since the wild card and the division series ones went up at the same time. It was easy enough to just, after I finished getting the wild card ones, just going into the division series ones. So it was quite an easy process then. But then it's just become more and more difficult as they've gone along. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I sort of thought about going downtown today, but it it will be it will be quite insane down there today, especially if they win. Um, Halloween and everything, I'm sure it's going to be quite something down there. If they do pull it off, I think I will go down there though for the parade. I think that would be sort of fun. All right, little fence build now. This bag's pretty quick. Not too much going on here. I would imagine, yeah. Well, I was hoping the Phillies were gonna beat them. We're gonna beat the Dodgers in that series, and I honestly thought they had a chance there, especially in that ninth inning that they had there, where they got pretty close. But I was sort of surprised with how the Milwaukee series went with the Dodgers, but yeah, I've enjoyed this one. Like I really haven't watched at all much Dodgers baseball at all this year. Never really see any of it, so really the first, except for one series, I think sometime in the summer that they had against them. Really first time seeing most of those guys play, but it's been a fun series to watch. The 18 inning game a bit less so. I was a bit tired the next day. Watching that entire thing, but I've enjoyed it watching World Series baseball. I certainly didn't think that was going to happen when this season started, but yeah. All right, into the actual build itself. I was more on it when Freddie hit the home run. I wasn't even disappointed. I was just happy to go to sleep. So I was at that point in the game, I was pretty much cheering for any team or anyone to just get something across. but the Blue Jays certainly had their chances in that game to do it, but I wasn't going into the series. I was just hoping they would take one out of the road games and then get it back to Toronto and try to win two straight. But now they've got a couple chances, but I don't know with Yamamoto pitching. If it's anything like the last couple times he's gone out there, might not be too easy to score much. But yeah. Like, that was probably the happiest I've ever been to see the Blue Jays lose a game, was just so I could go to sleep after that game. But it was, I enjoyed it up until a few innings into it was fun for a while, and then it got to the point where I just wanted it to be over with. But yeah, I guess looking back at it now, I really would have liked to have won that game. Then they could have won it. The two that they ended up winning there, but is what it is. I think they're in a decent spot, but let's see if they can actually do it. No matter what, I think I'm definitely gonna try to make sure I can get some tickets for or a ticket for the home opener next year to see him put up ideally a nice big World Series banner up, but we'll see. Six bags, I think, in this one. I like all the sand green. Certainly reminds me of Monster Fighters in that way. I think I got a couple sets from that theme. That was sort of a fun one. I don't even know. It's a weird schedule from what I remember. I don't even know if it's a home series. Schedule 2026. Can I just get the nice print one? That's good. And it is. Okay, I knew it was a weird start to the season. This is correct, right? 2026. It's against the A's, who I think are officially Sacramento. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw, is that they actually have it on their jerseys. But yeah, it is a home game. Okay, it's a Thursday. And then Friday off, and then Saturday and Sunday. It's sort of a weird start. It's the A's, then Colorado, then the White Sox, then the Dodgers, then Minnesota, then Milwaukee, then Arizona, then the Angels. Okay, finally, at the end of the month they have a series against Boston. I feel like that's the weirdest start to the schedule I've ever seen, where you don't have someone in your division right up until the end of the month. Okay, so I guess it's similar there. Like, feels like an odd start to the season to me, with a bunch of. That's an interesting start to the year. And even then, okay, in May they've got Tampa, New York, and Tampa and Baltimore. So there, it gets back to a bit of normalcy with facing the division teams. Oh, in their last season, I guess they end with the Reds in September. Interesting. They end a bit earlier too. I feel like this one went right until the end of September. Interesting. But definitely a weird first month. But yeah, I'll try to go there for that Thursday game. I'd like to see it all get put up. Went to the last time they had to put something up when they put the Jose, or they retired, not retired, but put up Jose Bautista's number up in the stadium. That was a fun game last year, I think. It's an odd looking schedule to me, but I guess now with schedules where they play every team at least once. But yeah, I feel like I don't usually see that all the time. Interesting stuff. So far, I like it. Like I'm sure, like compared to like the big, I think it's around 2,000 pieces or something. The like original sand green haunted house for Monster Fighters. This one is gonna look tiny and quite like not great against that one. But I think so far, like it's, I think pretty fun. Like I like the look of it by the box. I'm probably gonna add a few of my different like other monster characters to it. I think that'd be a fun little inclusion in it. But yeah, am I doing the right thing here? I think so. How did I build this wrong? That's correct. Okay, I see what I did. There we go. But yeah, I think it's a decent little set. I think at regular price it definitely doesn't. It seems a bit expensive for what it is. I think it's 130 Canadian or something like that. But I got it for I think $30 off or something like that. So I thought that was a decent price for the thing, especially at Halloween to put it together. But yeah, I'm excited for the new Stranger Things set, for a different like rundown house type of one. That one looks kind of cool to me. But yeah. Oh yeah, I really don't have any interest at all in putting together the other ones. Like the ship to me just sort of looks like definitely more of the afterthought build. The train I think has a little bit more to it, but definitely isn't something I'd want to put together. The main build is definitely the highlight of it, I think. But I like the castle as well from the 3-in-1 castle from the summer as well, of the different 3-in-1 sets. I think that one looks pretty cool, especially with those new the new castle factions that it has. That one looks pretty cool. But there's also some nice characters in this one. They all look look really nice. I'm excited to get the ghost. I don't have one of those. I think I have most of the different types of monsters that Lego has made in some way or another. But I don't have any of those ghosts with that cool piece that goes over them. So I'm excited to get that guy. I also think it glows in the dark, which is kind of cool. I think that's how they were the last time, but I think it's a new piece from what I've seen of it. It's not as sort of pointed at the top of the hood bit as compared to the other ones. Certainly a lot of sand green masonry parts included in this one, so a good parts pack for sand green masonry. Yeah, I think it might be able to close in on itself. I saw that on the back of the box, but of course that just sort of leaves the middle portion of it. So once it's closed in on itself, it's got a very small footprint. Yeah, I did see a rebuild of it that combined, I think, 3 of them to make sort of a full one that was sort of size comparable to the Monster Fighters one. And yeah, I think at that point it's probably just cheaper to buy the Monster Fighters one. Yeah, it looks like a cool set. I never got that Monster Fighters one. I think I only got a couple of the small sets from the theme, so excited for this one. It looks like a nice little build. I like the windows all around it. It's nice as well. I think my top one that I do want to pick up, though, from the summer Creator 3-in-1 sets is the Unicorn Castle. I like those new unicorn figures, which I'm surprised they made a new mold for 3-in-1 for those guys. I thought that was sort of against what they tend to do with the theme, but I think they count as minifigures, so I think it's fine, whereas they're brick-built horses in the 3-in-1 castle, because those don't count as minifigures. I think that's sort of how that works. All right, the first section of the build, which, yeah, this thing is certainly going to be small, because I think the footprint of these is pretty much just 3 of these next to each other. And then it does have the hinge, so I'm assuming you can turn it in on itself. But yeah, it's going to be small, considering that this is 1 floor, and then it's 2 floors on top. So it's certainly a small set, but I think it's going to be a good one, nonetheless. All right, there's one section of it, and it's on to the next one, and a couple more characters, and the ghost, which is certainly one I'm excited for. Ooh, that's kind of nice. You get a nice printed picture piece of the vampire that's included. That's interesting. Does that ever focus? Yes, it does. Cool. Oh, and there's another one of the actual castle, or the mansion. It's quite a tiny mansion, but one nonetheless. That's cool. Huh. And vampire. All right. The middle section, I believe. Just a plain white torso, a black head, and plain white legs. But then you got the ghost piece on top of that. That's cool. I like this guy. And the next one is the vampire, which is a very nice torso print. No back dress printing, a pretty nice face print, which got 2 expressions, and this cool hairpiece too. That's a solid figure. I feel like the figures in this one are quite strong, which I feel like isn't usually the case with 3-in-1. But these ones seem pretty solid. I like them. Yeah, so I guess there are hinges on either side, so it will be able to close in on itself, which is a fun little part of it. I don't think there's a ton of interior space. Very similar to the interiors that they've done for a lot of the different Harry Potter buildings over the last few years. I think the newer system is a little bit better, but I know the sort of second system that they did with the sand green roofs, those were very small interior spaces, sort of like this one, where instead of using a full plate with its edges, they sort of use the tapered edges ones that take away a little bit of space on them. Yeah. All right. Looks like I'm gonna have to bring in the last section of the build to connect to this one. Some steps up to the interior. But yeah, this certainly not going to have a ton of interior space by the looks of it, which wasn't necessarily something I was thinking there was going to be, but there certainly is not going to be a lot of it at all. I'm interested to see how the other builds use some of these parts, because these parts certainly so far feel like very tailored specifically towards this building part of the build. All right, that's the middle section. So yeah, it is certainly going to be a small build. But I'm not opposed to that. So at least it won't take up a ton of space. So I do kind of like this thing. You wouldn't mind having it built. It's cool that you've got the printed tiles included. Wasn't necessarily thinking they'd have something like that, but I also thought I did see some details in the pictures. And when I didn't see a sticker sheet in the bag of instructions, I guess it fits. All right. Oh yeah, there's even less interior space, because those are the steps, and then that's just a little bit of a porch. Okay, so you've got 3 studs worth of interior space. I guess you're supposed to use whatever table or anything is to sort of actually flesh it out, because there's certainly not a ton of space. I don't think there's going to be anywhere to put the zombies that I've got for this thing, or any other monsters. I was thinking about putting a few other different Monster Fighters characters around the build, but I don't think there's going to be much space to do that at all. All right. first of the tiles. I think that's definitely my favorite part of the set so far, are those tiles, except maybe the ghost. The ghost was kind of cool. Same idea for the door as the windows, a little bit of some detailing and ornamentation on top of that. The most open stud space so far for this, for placing characters, is the porch. Other than that, it's not a ton. Actually, there is a little bit of space inside the past section of it. A little bit of tan now in the build. I like the color of it so far in the mix of colors. I think sometimes you have a bit of an issue with Creator 3-in-1 sets, and when it comes to color, there can be some unwanted colors, especially when you get to the secondary builds. At least when you get into the primary ones, it's usually less of an issue. Yeah, this build certainly does not have much of an interior at all. I'm sure there's enough stud space to place the 5 characters in the set, but apart from that, there's not a ton. But I'm happy you can fold it in on itself. I think that's kind of fun, so that you can have a fully enclosed thing. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm enjoying the build so far, though. I think it's been fun to put together, and I don't really have that much that I think uses sand green that I can really think of. So nice color to use a bit of a different color. Oh, I guess you have even more or less porch space, because you got these columns sticking out there. Yeah, you can place maybe 2, 3. No, I think you're pushing it probably on 2 figures on the porch area. But yeah, there's not a ton of interior space on the build. All right. So that is a decent amount of the footprint, and now it's time for the last section, which I would assume is very similar to the first one. Yeah, the roof looks kind of cool. I like the look of that. Another printed piece for the cloth that's going to be included in this section. Same type of base as the other ones. And we get a skeleton right here, but not the full skeleton is in the last section of it. There you go, 2x4. There's been a few different Lego reveals today, and I'm assuming as it's getting close to November 1st, there'll be even more come later tonight once it starts to be November 1st. Yeah, there was the minifigure series 28, the costume series, and I think there was a few Ninjago things as well as some Harry Potter stuff today. but I'm interested to see what else comes of it tonight. But yeah, displaying it closed, I think, is certainly it'll be interesting to see because I'm sure the full footprint does kind of look nice, but I think the fully enclosed look also might be interesting. So it'll be interesting to see once this thing is finished what it sort of looks like. All right. I like that you've got the foundation sort of sticking out of it. That's a fun little bit. I quite like the look of the Costume Series 28 today. I think definitely not my favorite numbered series over the last few, but it's certainly, I guess, something somewhat different, even though there's always a couple costume figures in each series. But yeah, I'm sure the compared to the last couple ones, because I had the goat included in one of them, which was kind of cool. Of course, that the Wolfpack guy went pretty crazy for a while. So, and then of course there was the Formula One series, which sort of died everything down, and then the Spider-Man series. There's been some cool minifigure series over the last little while, but I like the costume guys. I like the frog. I think that was the one that stood out to me the most. But yeah. Bit of this olive green, I think is what the color is called. Included throughout the build too, just a bit of it. But I like its inclusion. Sort of gives the continues to build up the worn down aesthetic that is present throughout most of the build. You get these wood plank prints throughout the build to board up the most of the windows. I guess this one's just flat because it continues the porch. So this section, the first one, definitely had the most of any of them in terms of the interior space, because it has the little bay window area that has a bit of extra space compared to some of the others. It definitely, it's a nice color. I like the sand green too. I like a lot of the greens that LEGO has. The I think it's earth green is what is considered as the darkest one. I think that I'm a big fan of that one as well. But yeah, I like a lot of the greens that LEGO's got in its catalog of colors. But yeah, I've always liked sand green. I like a lot of the sand colors. Sand red specifically is one of my favorites that I like to pick up whenever I find a bit of sand red. It's a nice one. I'd love to do something with just entirely sand red. Probably be a decently expensive build with how much a lot of the sand red pieces cost, but I think it's a pretty cool color. So these two greens feel like possible ones if they continue to do those happy plant sets that they put out in whenever it was. I enjoyed that the first one of those that they did. I thought that was a fun build. Surprised there hasn't been anything about a new one yet, but I don't know, maybe it hasn't. Don't know that well, but there's certainly quite a few interesting sets coming out January of this year, and I guess even more of them will be revealed later today, so that should be fun. I don't know if those whatever the smart brick things are coming out in January, or if it's March for those, because I think it's the like Vader's tie and the X-Wing. I think those may be March, but don't remember entirely when those ones are coming out. But those certainly don't look to be the best things that I've ever seen. Yeah, for sure. Very, very much. I especially with, like, at least based off that X-Wing picture, the builds seem like they're gonna look really, really poor, and yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a successful thing. It just, I don't know, doesn't look very, very appealing to me. I'd much rather just have a regular set than a compromised one that's got this little gimmicky feature in it. But I guess they're giving it a go and trying it out, but I don't know. I don't think, I'm sure it might be sort of fun for the first time or second time using the thing, but it's certainly going to get pretty old pretty fast. But yeah. After there's a decent amount of, seems like just a bunch of normal sets as well next year, not just all the smart figure stuff. Already though, from the stuff that has been revealed for January, there's some stuff that I'm very, very excited for. Speed Champions with the DeLorean and Lightning McQueen set. Very excited for those. I'm excited for the new Stranger Things set. I think except for the minifigures, that one looks pretty nice. But yeah, I think it should be a pretty fun January. I really like the Hagrid's motorbike set that got revealed today, or leaked today, or whatever it is. I really like the look of the build of that. I'm surprised how decent the build actually looks for being able to fit the Hagrid bigger figure. But that looks like one of the better Harry Potter sets that I've seen recently. Except for, I think the Durmstrang ship was probably one that really stood out to me as one of my favorite ones over the last couple years, as well as the Shrieking Shack, but I really like this one. There's been some really good small sets from Harry Potter. When I think of, since it came back, which I realize now is, with next year, 8 years ago, I think it was 2018. It's the small sets that have really stood out to me as some of the best, from that being the Polyjuice Potion, like, bathroom set. I thought that was really cool. The Graveyard set, that was kind of fun. definitely quite a few nice small sets in that one. That one looks cool as well. I am excited though for the Smart Figures to get Greedo again. I like whenever they put Greedo in a set. It's always been one of my favorite looking Star Wars characters. I don't know what it is, but I've always quite liked the look of him. So excited for that one. Just disappointed that it's one of the Smart Figure ones. Now that's an interesting technique. I didn't think they really used that, where you slide a tile in the middle of anti-studs. It works, but I feel like I've never actually seen them do that. Huh. Interesting. All right, looks like the little graveyard build now, which is fun. Very fun. You got a skeleton leg sticking out of it, and you got the skeleton to jump out of it. I guess there was one of those in the Monster Fighters theme, which is a whole build, but I quite like the build that the Nightmare Before Christmas set has. I had it taken apart, but I put it together for Halloween, and I thought that one was really good. Hello. But yeah. All right. And the last of these tombstone bits, at least I think it is. Oh. Should use these pieces correctly, I guess. Would probably be a little bit better. There we go. And there we go. All right. Second to last bag here, and this is the full footprint of the set. I guess the only issue with having it enclosed is that the porch, which continues from here to there, just sort of gets cut in half. But yeah. Yeah, it's a big. It also has, like, I was sort of surprised just how big the instruction, like, bag, the paper bag with it. You've also got 3 of them, so there's quite a few large, very very large instruction manuals in this set. Yeah. I wasn't necessarily planning on getting the set, or at least right now. It was definitely one that I kind of wanted to pick up, but then saw a decent sale on it, so went for it. I was sort of surprised, considering it was relatively close to its release. But yeah, there's a few Creator 3-in-1 sets from this past summer that look pretty cool. Yeah, it's useful for a few decent, a decent amount of black sloped elements, as well as of course the sand green, which is, there's a lot of sand green masonry parts included, and so a few nice elements, but yeah, I've seen a lot more masonry parts on a couple of my nearest Lego stores pad walls recently, but I don't think I've seen sand green. I think I've seen lavender and light bluish gray, medium nougat, a few others. But yeah, the figures are quite strong in the build. Like, got all of them. Oh yeah, I think I have. I was thinking there might be one more, but I realized got all of them now out of the bags. The figures definitely are pretty strong. I think the Monster Fighters versions, at least a couple of them, are a little bit stronger. But I really like the vampire that they've got included. Very cool printed dress piece. That's certainly a nice inclusion. All right, there you go. Certainly a very small footprint once you seal it up on either side. Quite a few of the black sloped elements now. Oh, the first bit of actual, like, somewhat interior detailing. There hasn't been much of it. It's just been the floor, really. That's about it. But it now looks like putting together a little piano build, which looks like it's going to be a nice little addition. I love all these mini builds for different objects. The Winter Village sets, I feel like, always do them well. There was one thing, I think it was the light blue house that came out a few years ago. I thought that one had some really cool kitchen detailing, just its appliances I thought were really, really cool. The gingerbread house, of course, that's a very cool one. But that one I thought had some really cool interior detailing. All of those I think do pretty well with their interiors. This interior definitely is not the biggest one, but I do like this piano, or organ, I guess, now. But with these additional parts, I thought it was over until I flipped the page and realized there's a bit more to it. Golden candlestick pieces, which is always fun. I like these pieces, certainly very, very useful. It'd be interesting if that would be the case. I guess the biggest one from the summer, I think, piece count wise, is the 3-in-1 castle. So maybe if they had given this one that one's spot, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an issue going with this size of it. It's certainly small, but I almost wouldn't want it all that much bigger. But I guess if anyone was sort of wanting like a remake almost of that original Monster Fighters one, this one certainly is not that or even close to that. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what a new interpretation of a 2000 piece sand green haunted mansion would look like. But this one certainly is not even close to that. But that one certainly is a set that I wouldn't mind picking up. I like the Count Dracula's castle from that theme. I think that that might be my favorite set. But yeah, like for interior space, this is what you've got on the middle section, is just the seat for a character, and I guess a couple studs around that you can maybe attach a character sort of hanging off the edge of it. But yeah, there is not a lot in the way of interior space in this set, and it's as it's coming together, it's certainly very small. I don't know, like, if I was to compare this to other 700 piece sets where this one lies, because it's not like it's definitely not using small elements. It's mostly 1x2 bricks, just built up onto each other. So it's not a ton of just 1x1s and small elements to put it together. There's a decent amount of larger ones, so I'm sure compared to other sets of its piece count, it's not it's about in scale with those, but definitely for its regular price, it seems quite small for what it is. The no, I don't think I don't have any other haunted houses. The only other like Halloween themed set that I think I have, except for some of the smaller Monster Fighter stuff, is the Nightmare Before Christmas set. I got that last year when it came out, and yeah, that's a good set. I enjoyed that one. But that's about it for my Halloween and haunted house type sets. But I do like that Monster Fighters one, as well as that the one from relatively recently that they did, the taller tower one. I thought that one was sort of an interesting looking one, but I like when they do these ones. They're fun. Also, it's a little bit of dark tan spread throughout the build. I think this is about, I guess there's a bit to the roof, but it's also very short. I think yeah, it is definitely a very small set. I think smaller than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be big, but I think it's even smaller than I thought it was going to be. It is certainly small, and not overly tall. There's one section that's the next bag for the roof that will give it a little bit more height, but even that, considering it, I think at this point is around the max height of the walls. I think the next one might go up a stud or so more, but yeah, I think it's a good set. I just don't think that it's necessarily worth its regular price, just with the size of it. Like, the figures are really nice, and I think the build, I think it's going to be nice. It's not big. It is certainly a very small build. So yeah, I would definitely not pay regular price on this one, and yeah, I haven't seen a sale yet on the 3-in-1 castle, but when that one goes on sale, I definitely want to pick up that one as well. I like the new knight, or the new factions included in that one, the horses and the serpents, I think, or the snakes. That one looks like a fun one. The build looks alright. I don't know if it's any better or about the same as the last 3-in-1 castle from a few years back. But looks like a fun one. I definitely would really like to get those guys on Pick-a-Brick, because those look like some cool castle figures that I wouldn't mind picking up. I really want to get those Griffin Knights that they have in the vending machine. I'd love to see those go on Pick-a-Brick and pick up a few of those guys. I think with all the castle sets retiring this year, I think most of the castle minifigures that they've got on Pick-a-Brick, of course, most of the stuff, or a decent amount of it, I think is already gone or retired last year, but the remaining stuff with like the Black Falcons and the Lion Knights, I think, is retiring this year with that castle retiring. I'm thinking about picking that one up before it retires, that Lion Knight castle, using some of my VIP points and or is it insider points now? I think that's what it is. Using some of those points to and in picking up that one for a little bit less when there's a decent promo or something over the next month or so. I think one other thing is that the roof, at least this section of the roof, is not, so it's enclosed, but it's not actually going to be fully enclosed, because at least this one, it just goes right to the top. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going to put that castle, but it's definitely a castle. It looks cool, so wouldn't mind picking it up. So I think before it retires, might use a few points and pick that one up. I definitely like the look of it, and I don't think it takes up a ton of space. I don't think it's necessarily huge, but it's certainly not small. All right, last bit of the set. Bag 6. Yeah, I think there's going to be a hole in the roof when you fully enclose it. There's going to be a little bit of space. So I guess it's not technically fully enclosed. There's just some space open in the roof. But a bunch of sloped elements in this section. I recently, for castle sets, picked up the Bricklink Designer Program Wolfpack one, which I'm very excited to get and build. I relatively recently got the series, I don't know, 4 or 5 Seaside Market when that one shipped, which was a nice little castle set. I guess not little, it's actually quite large, I think. Yeah, that one looks kind of fun. I don't know if I'm gonna open that one or what I'll do with it, but I'm definitely going to open up that Wolfpack one when it arrives, and I don't know when that is, sometime next year, I think. But quite excited for that one. add those, the few Wolfpack guys that I got from the minifigure series to it. But yeah, it looks like a really cool build, so I'm quite excited to get into that one. Looks like a nice castle. I don't think it has the biggest footprint either. I think it's relatively tall compared to any of the other dimensions of it. It's definitely, I think, much taller than it is anything else. So I think I'd rather that with most of the things. Ever since I built the UCS gunship, bigger sets, I've been much less fond of them. That set just takes up so much space with its wingspan. It's just it's so big. I do kind of like it, but it's been a while since I think out of all like bigger sets, that's not necessarily one I like regret buying, but it's one that I don't know if I necessarily needed to pick it up when I did. But it was a cool set. I enjoyed putting it together. But I definitely I enjoyed the Slave one from this year much more. I think when I look back on the year of Lego sets, I think that one's going to be my favorite one of the year. That was a really nice one. Definitely really liked that quite a bit. I think another one, the Fabuland Lego house set, I think is one of my favorites. I quite like that. I don't know if this one's gonna go on the list of the top ones of the year, but it's not bad. This space actually has a bit more space for characters and figures, which is nice. This is definitely unless it gets covered up by walls, which is certainly a possibility. There's a lot more space in this particular section than any of the others. Which, wow, you use actual full plates instead of the ones that got the edges to them, and you get a lot more floor space. Who would have thought? Oh, actually, never mind. There goes any of the floor space. It's all covered up by the roof tiles. What I thought might be a decent amount of floor space has turned into what's on the other side, which is just 2 studs worth of space. So never mind to the hope that this section might have a little bit more space to it. There isn't much at all. All right. Where are you, little part? There it is. All right. Now another little character build by the looks of it. The ghost. That covers up a jewel or something. Now that would have been pretty cool. Would be to bring back the moonstone pieces from Monster Fighters and put one of those back here. Maybe I'll switch it out. I did find one yesterday, so I was looking through my collection of figures, seeing if I could find any of my Monster Fighters guys, and I didn't find much. I found most of the parts of the swamp creature and one of the actual Monster Fighters, but that was it. I don't think I have that many more of them to begin with anyways, but I did find one of the moonstones, and I might swap out this little gem that they have here for that. I think that would be kind of fun. Alright. The ghost that protects this little area. Yeah, that's certainly cool. cool part of it. It definitely is quite nice. The little googly eyes that they've added to like the tree in this ghost look a bit silly, but apart from that, okay, there we go. Oh, you can see the ghost in the window. Cool. All right. Yeah, the clock can move a little bit, and actually that's honestly the feature on the side of the wall to move the clock. It doesn't do much at all. The main, other than that clock, which is barely a play feature, it's like half a play feature. The ghost is definitely the only actual feature, at least so far, unless there's something on the roof. The ghost, I would say, is the only play feature. You can move the clock a little bit, but it doesn't actually do anything apart from that. So I wouldn't even say that one's much of a feature at all. The ghost definitely is kind of cool though. I like the ghost feature. It's kind of fun. Someone can get into the house, get up there, and find the ghost once they go for the gem. Alright, that works relatively smoothly. You've got the little gear on the side of it, and it can turn. That actually functions pretty well. Nice. Cool. Alright. Next window. Oh, okay. So I guess this part closes in on itself, so that's actually even smaller. Yeah, there's not much in the way of interior spaces. It very much reminds me of the Harry Potter sets. At least the green roof ones that I think were the second iteration over the last few years. Those definitely had a similar idea where they used the plates with the edges instead of entire plates. You sort of lose a lot of interior space there, and this one sort of reminds me of that. But yeah, I think if they could have upped the piece count and maybe got this thing to like 1,000 pieces or something like that, you could have made something a little bit better. But even then, I think you definitely needed the piece count of the old one to really make something sort of impressive looking. And since I'm adding a little bit of a drawer here, there's actually going to be even less stud space now. About I don't know, 3 or 4 spots of actual usable studs to place a character. But yeah, the biggest in sort of interior space that you've got on any of it is the bay window area, because that's just pretty much open studs that isn't used by anything. So except for that, there's nothing really else. The porch has a little bit of space as well, but it's quite tight because I think it's only 2 or 3 studs deep. And yeah, getting a little bit closer to that, which that's fun. It's definitely a nice number. But bit more of the olive green. I wouldn't mind a bit more of that included in the set. There's almost not enough of it that it doesn't have, I guess. There's sort of one quite long bit of the olive green. I wouldn't mind a little bit more of it, but I guess they really wanted to stick with the sand green and keep it at least somewhat similar to the to that Monster Fighters one, at least in color. But I like the inclusion of it, definitely. The I don't like the dark tan as much. I think I would have swapped out any place where there's dark tan and put and used the olive green. I think I would have preferred that. I don't necessarily love the dark tan, and I'm pretty sure they make olive green masonry, so I don't think that would have been too hard to get to. Few other of the pieces you might have needed recolors, which I don't think they necessarily love to do in this theme. I don't think this is necessarily the new piece or recolor type of theme, even though I think the ghost hood part is a new element, and no matter what, it's not one they've had for a while, so I believe it works about the same, that if you have to bring back an old element, which I think that one's new anyways, but even if it was the old element, it would be just about as same as bringing back a new one. It might be the same case with the Frankenstein's monster figure as well as the werewolf, because I don't think I remember seeing those a while, unless they came in the more relatively recent Haunted House, but that's, I think, retired now, so. Yeah, maybe that would be a nice inclusion. Like, the only bit of orange that you got around is sort of the pumpkin, and that's, like, I like, one thing that I really like about the Nightmare Before Christmas set, there's a lot of things I like about that set, but I thought they really did a good job with sort of the mangled looking trees. I think they could have taken a bit from that with this one. Of course, those probably don't fit the 9+ age rating that they've given this set, but I still would have liked that included. Okay, good. Cool. Alright, a little bat there. Now that is going to be the max height of the set. I don't think there's anything else that's going to get higher. But yeah, I sort of like that idea of a few leaves around it, even not just the tree. I think I wouldn't mind a bit of it just around it, especially since they use that orange for the pumpkin. It sort of stands out a bit too much, not having any more of it. All right, the last bit of it is going to be the middle section's roof, and then I think that's it. But when you enclose it, I don't think it's going to, there's a few gaps at the top of the roof. Unless it actually maybe gets covered up with this middle section. It actually might, which would be great. That would be nice. I think though I don't know, I like the closed up idea of it. I was gonna say, always when you close up the sets, it's nice that you get you don't have to worry about dust getting on the interior, but there's really not much concern about dust on the interior of this set because there's not much interior to worry about. But I always love when they have fully enclosed sets. But I don't know. I wish the porch getting sort of cut in half when you fully enclose it looks a bit odd. that in there. Oh, I don't think that gets covered up, so there actually is just a big, even if it does cover up the low gaps, there are a few holes in the roof. So, not necessarily all that enclosed, but yeah, at least it's covered from the back. But the one thing about that back that's not going to be all that nice is you sort of have the gears of the play functions, 1.5 play functions, the ghost as the full play function, and the clock as half of one. You do see those on the back when it's enclosed. All right, and I think that is about that. And that is the Creator 3-in-1 haunted house with its little entrance gate. It's 5 minifigures: the ghost, the vampire, Frankenstein's monster, the skeleton, and the werewolf. Yeah, it certainly doesn't have a ton of interior space. That's about it for interior space. Exterior space, you got the porch as well as this area. There's a lot more, I guess, on the exterior than anything else. But yeah, the most interior space is sort of at the bay window area. The ghost function is kind of cute and kind of fun. Yeah. But yeah, it's a cute little playset. I really like the tiles that they've got on the interior for little portraits. When it's fully enclosed, I realize now that I should not have this 2x4, and I see where it would go. This is sort of your look of it, which looks all right, I think. And then the back of it, yeah, I think fully enclosed, it looks all right. You've got spaces at the top of it. But yeah, the only issue I think with having it fully enclosed is that, of course, it sort of cuts off part of the porch, or cuts it in half. But yeah, it's a fine little set. I think on sale it's even better. But yeah, let's see, and put the vampire right there. The werewolf guy can go somewhere. Skeleton should probably go in the graveyard area. The ghost will just haunt at the top. And now, okay. Now, one issue is that you cannot, because the interior space is so small, you can you cannot really, you can't hang figures, at least off the edge of things, to be able to have it fully enclosed, with the characters in there. What did I knock off? Part of the tree. But yeah. All right. well, that is the Creative 3-in-1 Haunted House. It's gonna add some zombies around here. To add a few more different monster type of figures, different CMF ones. This one's kind of cool with the little arm print that they gave it. I think this was the original one, quite simple in its design compared to quite a few of them. And then the cheerleader zombie. I also found another one, but I couldn't find the correct hairpiece for it, so I didn't put that one here. But yeah, I was gonna put those around, but there's not all that much space to put them, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, fun little set. I don't mind it. Alright, that's about it. So, thanks for watching the stream. It's been fun, and yeah, I don't mind it. I'll put this with my other Halloween sets and characters. I guess when you do fully enclose it, you sort of got to turn the bat so that it actually sort of faces the right way. But yeah, happy Halloween. I thought this would be a good set to build for Halloween. And hopefully, I would really just like to get it over with today and not have to deal with a Game 7 in the World Series. I don't think I could take another 18 inning game. Hope they don't have another one then. But yeah, that's about it for today. Thanks for watching the stream. And yeah, see you on the next one. Building something else, I don't know what. But yeah, I was looking at, there are a couple Marvel sets I was looking at that are retiring that I wouldn't mind picking up, as well as the little Minecraft crafting box. I kind of like the look of that, and I know that's retiring, so I think I saw it on sale, so I might pick that one up. But yeah, happy Halloween, and yeah, for me, I will be not accepting any trick-or-treaters past when the game starts because I will be locked into the Blue Jays game. But that's about it for today. Thanks for watching the stream, and I'll see you in the next one.